brothers and sisters.
Give me a moment with your friend. I've never been on trial for my thoughts before.
Welcome to the Only One Mic podcast. Carl Gerard, Brooklyn Dre. J-Rob is off today. How you doing, Dre?
What up?
All right. Hey, listen, we got another one for y'all, man. Kanye West, Old Man on the Porch. At it again with another rant, man. He's just going off on something stupid after his Vegas show got canceled, going on another unhinged rant. So, according to Vibe magazine, which everybody probably already know, the U.S. Sun reports that Ye called out Jewish people and rich people after his Las Vegas party was shut down. He went on a 10-minute rant, and it was getting increasingly agitated as he vented his frustrations with the so-called system. He then mentioned a long list of former associates and friends, praising some like Pharrell and bashing others like Donald Trump. He also name-dropped Jay-Z, Travis Scott, his ex-wife Kim Kardashian, and frenemy Drake, and even mentioned Mike Rubin, who he threatened to slap the blank out of. The rapper also seemed to claim that he was being replaced by a light-skinned Ye. Halfway through his rant, he compared himself to Jesus Christ and Hitler.
That's a Negro that's out of his mind.
So,
sad.
Yeah, very, very.
You know, and people always, I think we done did a couple of Ye shows, and I really don't want to do them, man. But
yeah, we don't want to do this, but it has to be addressed. You cannot not address it.
I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous, man. Dude said Jesus Christ, Hitler, and Ye.
Yeah.
Which is, I mean, it's all kinds of things messed up in that whole statement. First of all, he's comparing Jesus Christ to Hitler.
Yes.
And then he's comparing, himself to Jesus Christ.
And Hitler.
And Hitler
in the same breath. So it's a crazy, crazy situation. So we actually have the rant in which we're going to, listen to some of it, break down parts of it, tell you our most disturbing portions of it, because the thing, like I told you offline when we were discussing this thing, is that there are people who are sitting around him and they are agreeing with him.
White people.
You know what I mean?
Black people and black people.
Black and white. It seemed like it was a pretty mixed crowd. You've seen a lot of different people there, but if you watch the video, and I'm pretty sure a lot of you did, he's just standing there and he's ranting and everybody's just sitting around him and they're like agreeing with him. This guy is saying like he's a vessel that God is using, and people are agreeing with him. And like we discussed offline, this is a dangerous conversation to have. This is a dangerous thing for people to agree with, because the last person that did that almost took over half of the world, if not all of it, was Adolf Hitler.
Yeah.
Started off the same way. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's just, and then again, he's a sad individual. I think something's wrong with him. I think beyond, I used to say he was just crazy, but I think something is beyond wrong with him at this point. I mean, he looks like, again, I don't know what somebody that's tormented looks like, you know what I mean? But he looks like nothing like himself from when he first came into the game, man. I mean, he just looks like you figure with all the money and stuff that he has, he would look like a better person, but he just looks like unshaven and always look unkept now and just looks disgusting.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Very much so. So listen, we're going to go into a little bit of this rant that he went into just to give the people some context on it. So,
and just before you do that,
also
in that same text, like you said, he was saying that he's a vessel of God. He's also telling people to shut the blank up.
Yes.
You know what I mean? He's a vessel of God.
And he's cussing while he's saying it. So
he's cussing while he's saying it.
Yeah, so we're going to go ahead and we'll play some of this. This is Kanye West 10-minute rant after his listening party.
No, none of y'all here with no Instagram, nobody living, nobody at, and I don't want to hear from none of these Jewish talk about, oh, he's in an episode. Harley Pasnick follow me to the hotel. They kill Aaron Carter, and now they acting like they won't clear the Backstreet Boys sample. You get what I'm saying? Harley Pasternak, Pusha, your trainer. Harley Pasternak, Jay-Z. You get what I'm saying? And they be hanging around just for the money or some Mike Rubin. Slap out of Mike Rubin. You know what I'm saying? It's like, these bro. These niggas, you know what I'm saying? I'm on my Farrakhan Don right now, bro. Because guess what? These Yeezys gonna sell. Yeah. They sabotaged the show today. They sabotaged the Instagram. They cut off the Adidas contract. They did all. Then they want to go get light skin Ye. You gotta understand. That's Jerry. His real name is light skin Ye, bro. He told me that was his name. It was light skin Ye. They want the light skin version. They want a George Floyd. They want a Virgil. They don't let me this funeral. I saw 2, 3, 4, 5 white people not let me speak in further. None of y'all and Drake, nigga. Hey, hold on. Be quiet while I'm talking, baby. Drake, I love you. I'm gonna get the tattoo. But any of y'all Trav, Drake, whoever, y'all gotta show up. And don't tell me I'm talking crazy. Y'all, I'm Pharrell and me. Hey, come on. Me, Pharrell, we broke down this door. We all in the together. We all in together. And we all dealing with a lot of...
What did he say? It seemed like it was like a hodgepodge of just foolishness.
They all like ranting and raving behind this guy like Malcolm X is speaking.
Like Malcolm X. I heard him say something about them killing Aaron Carter, clearing a Backstreet Boys sample. The Yeezy's going to sell. It's like a bunch of just fool ramblings.
If you notice, he always goes through this rant where white people are prohibiting him from doing his little businesses and stuff like that. You know, with all due respect, nobody cares about your rich problems.
Yeah.
Nobody cares about your rich problems. I mean, he starts going on these rants talking about his kids and all the stuff that you're going to do with your kids. I think at one time or another he had, you know, a multi-billion-dollar offers on the table and all kind of other stuff like that. If you can't straighten out your problems with your kids with all that money, Jay-Z and nobody else can do nothing for you. Who cares?
Who cares?
Like, who cares, man? There's a truck driver right now driving around making $2,000 a week and $1,500 of that is going to child support. You think he cares about your $1 billion problems? I mean, nobody cares about it.
You can't get a seat at the table.
Yeah, and the sad part about him is he's so selfish is that he thinks that's more important. If you thought it was that more important, maybe you should be the one to spearhead, you know, some sort of reform for child support.
He's claiming to be a revolutionary. However, I don't see where this is benefiting the average person.
It's the same thing that happened when he was on Sway in the Morning, man. He's spazzing out because the fashion industry won't let him get in there like he want to get in there, whatever the case may be, you know. And again, I think a lot of people would actually support him if he was able to articulate himself better, you know, on certain things. Because, I mean, certain things, I guess, are wrong. You know what I mean? You can't take away some of the things that he said. There is some truth. We know the Jews run Hollywood. You know, we know from being in New York City, we know the Jews run hip hop music. You know what I mean? So a lot of things he's saying is right. But on the same token, it doesn't give you the right to disrespect the whole Jewish culture because a few Jews is running these outlets and different things like that. Man, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, and even in his first rant that he did when he was on Sway and all that, you could probably pick bits and pieces out of that makes sense. This don't make sense at all.
Yeah, this doesn't make well. He again, like I said, when he talks, man, it's like somebody like it's almost possessed or something.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like it's all over the place. It's like 1, 2, 3, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, Jack, Jill went up the hill. It's like all over the place. And the sad part about him is that people support him.
Yeah, you see so many people back here clapping and applauding.
In my personal life, I've actually seen people, black people, who are saying they're talking about this guy as if he's like Fred Hampton or Malcolm X or Stephen Biko or any of these great revolutionaries that we've had from the past, man. And they talk about him like he's one of those. And he's not cut from these people cloth. It seems like the only time he ever have a rant is when he's being stopped from doing what he got to do.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? He's not ranting for you. You know, he's not doing anything special for, here's a man that had billions of dollars and I've never seen him operate any kind of coalition or anything out of a hood or urban community. Maybe he has, I don't know, but I haven't seen it, you know?
Believe me, if he probably did, you would know about it. Let me get back into this here rant.
And what I'm telling you, a lot of people have to say about my Jewish comments. There ain't nobody in this room and none of y'all entertaining ever said nothing when I was praying to see my kids one of the last days, what's my that got locked up for the mega salad shit? Oh, Tory. Okay, look. So Tory Lanez called me. We were saying prayers. We were saying prayers on the phone together. And I prayed that day. And y'all saw when I couldn't see my kids, when I couldn't see Chicago too. All on Instagram.
Hold on. Who cares, man? Who cares if you can't see your children, man? This is life. You know how many brothers I know that just go through these same problems on a regular basis? This is regular stuff.
It
Regular
is.
stuff.
It is.
And if you got billion, that's the whole point, that he's so stupid. He doesn't understand. You got billions of dollars, man. And if you can't see your child, what can anybody else do to help you?
I ain't no fan of no Kardashians or anything like that either. All right.
Right.
But if your old man is acting like this, would you want your kid around him?
I don't think he deserves his children.
I mean, this is, the same man that took his daughter recently to his album release party. And it like it was more weed and alcohol on that stage along with that baby than anything else.
And this is the same night that he gets on stage and he says, I can't, in a rhyme, he says, I can't be anti-Semitic because I just blanked as Jewish
B. Yeah.
You know what I mean? As Kim Kardashian being a mother, I would say I got to get my kid away from this dude, man, because I don't know if he knows or whatever the case may be, but like you said before, he's risking his kid up there on stage with these people. You know, this is a rap crowd. Your child shouldn't be there, man. That's number one. And people can say what they want and about this in the listening party and all this other stuff like that. We come from the culture. We know that you shouldn't have your child.
Well, I'll put it to you like this. If your child was in your house during a time where your friends were over and you were all smoking weed and drinking, and somebody dropped a dime, your kid would be away. You would be under investigation.
Yeah. Not to mention, again, here's the biggest thing. You're sitting there disrespecting the Jewish community, and you're on stage with your daughter, man. And I tell you, man, I watched this thing going on down there in what is it, in Gaza, Gaza Strip.
Yeah.
And what's the head guy? Netanyahu. I've seen him on an interview. Interviewer was asking him about, should kids be killed and stuff like that, because of what Hamas did to the Israelis. And, that dude switched the subject, man. Like, basically, he switched the subject, like saying, like, as long as Hamas is dead, we're going to continue to do what we got to do. And he never said anything about the kids, but in so many words, he's saying, like, ain't nobody off the page.
Exactly.
We'll kill anybody until we get this problem straight.
Yeah, that's like,
what I mean?
That's like if gang violence is going on in your neighborhood and, the police chief just says, look, I don't care who's there. We're going to lock everybody up or shoot everybody we see till we end gang violence.
Right. Kids.
Instead of going after the gang.
Grandmothers, we don't care
we
who
don't
it
care.
is.
If you caught up, you caught up. That's just what it is. You know what I mean?
Who it is. And if you don't think those same people are, a lot of those same people, those same ideologies are here in the United States of America and wouldn't be willing to kill him and everybody on that stage, you know what I mean, from stopping, some of this rhetoric that he has. He's crazy. Well,
it's like we had said offline, man. The two words the Jewish community uses a lot is never again.
Never again, right?
And like when you have a person that's comparing himself to Hitler and you have a crowd that's standing around him that's praising everything that he's saying, that is anti-Semitic and everything in between. Anytime a man is comparing himself to Jesus Christ, you're looking at something that's completely outside of music and I'm a genius. You're looking at cult followings.
Well,
that can stand up going to a dangerous territory.
To be honest with you, his start is very similar to Hitler, whereas like, Hitler was the same person. He was hanging out in bars and pubs and doing like poetry and speaking engagements and talking bad about the Jewish community until he got to a point. Whereas like some people that had money and influence in Germany got behind him, the rest is history. The rest is history. That's why
the dangerous thing is that he don't need financial backers. He got money.
Well, like you said before, when the Jews say never again, they mean that because they mean it in the sense of this is, even though he's an idiot, he's a person of influence.
Right.
You know what I mean? Major influence. I mean, to the point that, like I said, I've had conversations with, African-American people, grown, old, 40, 50 years old, not children, grown, 50 and 40 years old. And they talk about this guy like he got sense.
Yeah. Or what it makes sense to them. You know what I mean?
Yeah. There's a lot of them that talk about him like
feel that way. Yeah.
Talk about he got sense. And if you listen to what he's saying, his rant is all over the place. And again, nobody is going to care about your problems. You know what I mean? Like right now, a brother can, like I just brought up the scenario of the brother, who driving a truck and, he's making $2,000 and they're getting $1,500 out for child support. If that brother stood out on the street and cried right now, it'd be a million brothers walk outside and say, what are you crying about? We all going through the same thing. You'll be like, who cares?
But then it'll also probably be a bunch
up.
of brothers that, like, if you are about reform, say, all right, well, you crying, I'm crying. Let's see what we can do to change it. Yeah, let's do something to change it. But he's not trying to change anything, y'all. I mean, and for people who are listening to this that think that he's correct or he's a genius and, you know, everything in between, he's not doing anything to affect change for you. You know,
it's so hard. It's so hard not to use the N-word while discussing this dude, man. This fool, man. This fool ain't got nothing in the tank, man. It's all stupid. And like I said before, it's important to note that, you know, when we're talking about this dude, we're not just saying that we don't hear some of the decent points that he's making or something that he's talking about. He triggers something and then he goes off in space. You know what I mean? But we're talking about real revolutionary. You want to be a revolutionary and you want to wake up tomorrow morning and you want to shut down a couple of airports, you want to shut down a couple of major highways because you want to bring light to equal opportunity pay. You want to bring light to, you know, equal opportunity healthcare and equal opportunity education and stuff like that. I'm all for it. That's real revolution, man. You know, and I brought this up before on one of the other shows, like talking about how when Trump had that travel ban, and how this was the smallest probably protest nobody ever seen when a bunch of Muslims in different states went up to these airports and shut down the airport. Right. That travel ban was lifted, I think, within the same week. You know what I mean? That's protest. That makes things happen, man.
It's change.
It's change, man. This dude right here, man, is doing nothing. He's upset because he can't sit at the table with white folk. Yeah. You know what I mean? I don't care about that. I have no care about that at all. Yeah. You know what I mean?
And that's what it is. It's more or less like, you know, I'm protesting for the change for me, not for the change for everybody else. Yeah. You know, that the average kid who's getting like a really poor education in the city, who probably is not even thinking about starting a fashion line or rapping or anything like that. How does that change affect that young man or that young lady? You know, this is the stuff that you got to look at. But he's not going on these rants for you. He's going on rants for him. I posed this question. I'm going to cut you off. Offline is that if Kanye West got everything he wanted in terms of his seat at the table in fashion, say he's one of the #1 designers in the world at the moment or something, let's just say hypothetically, would you see this? Would you see him speak against the Jewish community? Would you see him going on these attacks on everybody? Do you think you would see it?
The man has money, has been having money for a long period of time, man. And I have never seen the guy, you know, again, I've never seen him do anything in the community, man. Like, you know, don't get me wrong. I'm saying that I'm quite sure there's some little turkey giveaways or something he done did before, you know, the money that you have and for the platform that you hold, you're this big revolutionary, you know, there should have been more we could have seen, you know what I mean? I always said this years ago. I remember when Jesse Jackson had the Rainbow Coalition, and I found out like Jesse Jackson was getting millions and millions of dollars from the government every year to run the Rainbow Coalition. And I remember saying to one of my partners, man, like, yo, like, I don't know no place in the world where the Rainbow Coalition operates out of. Right. You know what I mean? Where it really affects them. I'm not talking about just a flagship office that means nothing. I'm talking about an actual office that, you know, protest is coming out of and some real things is coming out of. I never seen it. And this guy's getting paid millions and millions of dollars to do this. So again, to say that you have this kind of money, you have this kind of influence, and I don't see nothing. You know, I've been in all of these hoods. I'm in Jersey. We've been in New York, Delaware, Jersey, or the whole entire East Coast. I don't see nothing that you become a revolutionary on until somebody shut down something you got going.
And I mean, and especially in his hometown of Chicago, where crime and all is rampant. And I actually will say this to anybody who's a listener that is from Chicago. If you have seen something that maybe wasn't publicized or whatever, you know, let us know, man. We stand to be corrected if he is doing it.
This dude right here, man, he talked revolutionary. And next thing you know, after this album drop and everything like that, you'll see him in Murcielago or something like that with some white woman eating cucumbers and truffles and all kind of other crazy garbage. And when I say white woman, I don't care who you with. You know what I mean? I don't have no. But this is what these.
Yeah, but it's just.
I'm saying this because this is what these so-called revolutionaries talk like, like we got to keep the black family and, the black family black and all this other stuff like that. But he doesn't even live a black life.
Well, yeah, that too. That's definitely. But it's like what you spewing is hate speech. I mean, if you really look at the statistics, really, right now, with everything that's going on in the Middle East of anti-Semitic crimes here in the States, and though, people who listen to this is like, oh, well, black people go through, we do. We do. And I'm not saying that, we shouldn't put the spotlight on any Asian hate or any anti-Semitic hates or anything like that. Hate is hate across the board. But when you look at it like this, at a time where you know that they're going through it, you know what I mean? Do you think that this was the right time, especially as a black man, to do this? If anybody remembers the Crown Heights riots during those times, things of those natures, you know what I mean? Where, like, say a young black man listens to this speech, listens to the stuff that Kanye is saying, don't know any better, decides to go out here. And this has happened in Brooklyn just as of recent, and you folks can check the news on it. Go out here and snatch the hat off a Hasidic Jewish man. You know what I mean? Or rough him up in some form of fashion. Do you know that the city would then target every young black man they can possibly get until they find the one that actually did it? This has happened before. This is history. You know what I mean? So it's like you have to be kind of careful with these platforms that you have in the soapbox that he stands on, because people are listening to you. That, us being of a certain age, we can kind of know that this is wrong or whatever the case is. Right. But, Man, Ray, and Risha and them don't understand that. You know what I mean? They can't process it like we do and think that this kid is right. You know what I mean?
Right. And the thing about it is black people will listen to this and they'll talk about us as if, oh, they scared, they don't want to go up against the Jewish community or whatever like that. Listen, man, here's the point. We come from the hood. We know that the Jewish community, we know that the Chinese community, even the Muslim, the Arab community, man, have been very disrespectful, and in the hood, and as far as business is concerned, as far as how they treat African-American people, we get it. We get it, but that doesn't
even little
Italy.
That
too, man. That doesn't give you the right to villainize all of the people that are in that culture, man. That's just as silly as like all black people rob people and kill people and everything like that, man. It doesn't make any sense, man. The argument the guy is making about a lot of these things is absolutely ridiculous. And again, if he was a very intelligent, articulate person that he really meant what he was saying about the whole industry, well, then why don't? And again, I don't get too sensitive about none of this stuff no more anyway. But I'm just bringing it up because I've heard the news. Then why you, with billions of dollars, allow certain artists to go so long without getting their residuals and monies and different things like that? With all the billions and the attorneys and the stuff that you have access to, you should be the one leading the forefront for somebody to fight against these so-called Jewish people that are taking advantage of artists and stuff like that within the music business. You know what I mean? Why are you not at the forefront of that?
Or start your own thing and don't have to worry about, being distributed through these major companies and all. Yeah. You know what I mean?
But he's just a walking contradiction, man. And again, man, what kills me about him is you won't see this dude on Flatbush Avenue. You're not going to see him on Roosevelt Boulevard in Philadelphia. You're not going to see him in these particular places. He's going to come through and do y'all shows and get his money, and he's going to go right back to his little white house off in California Hills or something like that and continue to play these games, and y'all talk about him like as if he's the second coming or something.
Well, I'm going to be honest with you. What I'm about to say is probably not the most popular thing to say, amongst our community, man. But I'm speaking from the perspective of a, adult black man who gives 2 cents about this. I would say do like the RC, I think it's the RCF theater in Italy did with him back in October. Don't allow him to perform. You know what I mean? These venues, like say, if this guy is doing what he's doing in terms of coming up on the stage, putting on these Black Klans hoods and things like that, and you got people, dressed with these black Ku Klux Klan hoods and things like that on their head performing. Don't allow him to do it, man. I would rather just say, look, man, cancel the concerts or anything that you have planned for this guy to come up here and do this. You got to start shutting this stuff down, man.
Yeah, and then you so-called ignorant black revolutionaries, so-called, the conscious community, all this goofy people that support this ignorance, man. Let me tell you the funny thing about this is that these people own these arenas, man. That's their arena.
It's the arena.
I'm not paying you to come through to disrespect my people. You know what I mean? If you don't, he shouldn't even try to book big arenas that African Americans don't own or anything like that. He should be trying to book where black people own, because he's probably only people that's going to listen to this garbage. Because again, you can't. If I'm a Jewish man, you think I'm gonna allow you to come in here and say, how can I be Jewish? I just blanked a Jewish chick last night.
Anti-Semitic and all that.
You must be crazy.
Well, the thing is that even with any venue, I don't care who you are, I don't care if you're a juke joint somewhere in the South, man, you can't have this guy here because of the backlash. It's going to tear your business to shreds, man.
You're a so-called Christian, and the man just compared himself to Jesus, man. You know what I mean? You should be upset about this, man.
Yeah, the Christian community should be upset about it.
You know, the sad part about him is that he's stupid, but he ain't dumb enough to call himself Allah. You know what I mean?
Nope.
I ain't dumb enough to call himself Muhammad. I ain't never heard him say nothing that crazy, because he knows that the Muslim community will off him.
I'll be honest with you. I'll be honest with you. The nation should rise up just for you comparing yourself to Farrakhan. You know what I mean? If y'all love Farrakhan that much. Yeah, you know what I mean? It's like, I don't know.
Listen, I'm no fan of Farrakhan, you know what I mean? But I've heard some great speeches from Farrakhan. I've heard a lot of very good things that Farrakhan has talked about.
His recall of history is impeccable. Yeah, I give him
even some of his social stuff and some of his plans in regards to reform the black community. There's a lot of good things that Farrakhan has said, but when it comes to the racial rhetoric and all the other stuff like
aspect, I don't agree with. But
I don't agree with him in religious aspect. But for, like you said, for the Nation of Islam, still just comparing himself to Farrakhan.
Yeah.
No, he's comparing himself to Farrakhan. These are men that walked some really strong lines, man, back in the 60s and 50s and stuff like that. And you're walking around here privileged to say the things that you're saying.
And I don't know if he feels safe because Farrakhan had his, controversies with the Jewish community as well.
He probably supporting them in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah, I'm like, there's nobody making the call to him to say, man, you might want to talk to this guy or whatever. You know what I mean?
This man has so much disrespect for the Christian community, man. It's absolutely ridiculous.
It's the same man that I think was on the cover of Rolling Stone where he had a crown of thorns on his head. I see who's the other kid? Kendrick Lamar is walking around with that now.
Well, you know what? Like I said before, man, we talked about this before we got on the line here, is that I don't know what torment it is.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? But when you do these things against God, over and over and over and over and over again, man, he sounds like a man that is something wrong with him, man.
Mm-hmm.
I just thought he was nuts before, you know what I mean? But he sounds beyond like that now. Like he's like, these rants and weird rants and stuff like that, man. I'm telling you, man, you just can't do you can't say whatever you want to say about God and walk this earth like you think it's sweet.
And you know what? And just on a spiritual level, it's just a testament of God's mercy that he's even able to speak at all. And it just goes to show you. It just goes to show you this is mercy here, because this is not the first time he's done this. This is a habitual line stepping in terms of.
The man said one time before that if the Bible was written today, his name would be like in the Bible. All kind of stupid garbage like that, man. Like, he's basically saying like, he's a Messiah or he's a prophet or something like that, man. Are you crazy? You make good beats and music and some clothes, man. That's it.
That's it,
man. Many have come before you and done the same thing. You're just doing it. You're riding the coattails of others, man.
Now, this is some of the people that he has compared himself to in rants. All right. And when I say these names, I want you guys to just really think about who he's comparing himself to. One of them is Walt Disney. Okay. All right. So this is what he said on Sway in the Morning in 2013. He says, "I'm Warhol. I'm the #1 most impactful artist of our generation. I am Shakespeare in the flesh, Walt Disney, Nike, and Google." Now, Walt Disney was anti-Semitic, racist. I think he was sexist. You know what I mean? So it's like if you went, in fact, I implore you, just go Google Walt Disney. Do you know that during the time of the Klan that the Disney Corporation actually made propaganda films for children that depicted young white kids in Klan outfits chasing young black kids and hanging them?
Yeah, remember the first Elmer Fudd? The first Elmer Fudd was black.
Well, that's Warner Brothers. That's different.
Oh,
that's
yeah, you're right.
That's Warner
Sorry,
but they did have blackface Mickey. You know what I mean? So these are the things that you got to look at. And he's comparing himself to this gentleman, right? He also compared himself to Gandhi. Just the fact that you compared yourself to Gandhi, who thought that black people were savages. Look it up. You know what I mean? He was racist. Yeah. Gandhi was racist.
And Gandhi was crazy.
Yeah, he was crazy.
Let me tell you, he's crazy. Now I said Gandhi was a fool. And I used to look at that and be like, nah, why would he say that, man? But the dude went on a hunger strike, man, and in front of his ops. Like the ops was gonna help him, that's crazy.
Yeah, they didn't want to see you die. So he said in Rolling Stone in 2007 about Gandhi, everything I'm not made me everything I am. In my humble opinion, that's a prophetic statement. Gandhi would have said something like that. You're comparing yourself to Gandhi, who thought black people were savages.
And even in the craziest thing about all of this stuff you just said Walt Disney. Even though we don't agree with a lot of things Walt Disney and Gandhi's done, but let's keep it a buck. They have done some things definitely more than you've done. Mm-hmm. You've made music and you sold clothes. You haven't done anything that people haven't done before you. Jay-Z did it. Sean Combs did it. The only difference is you're riding the coattails of them. So you are this generation's version of them. The next generation that come along will probably do the same thing and probably do it better than you. You know what I mean? You're just doing it in this time. So it's crazy.
All right. Compare yourself to Thomas Edison, who, Thomas Edison and his goons often stole a lot of stuff from Nikola Tesla. You know what I mean? Was a corporate thief. All right.
And created that bomb. What's the office that he created? The patent office.
Yeah,
where he stole everybody stuff that came in there and put his name on it. He's a thief.
He's a thief.
Yeah, I guess he made the light bulb, but he's a light bulb stealing thief. And I think he stole that idea, if I remember that correctly.
Tesla. Yeah.
I think from Tesla, I think he stole the whole thing of the wasn't it the light where it's
it was
light the city up and
alternating current. Yeah,
alternating current.
Alternating current. Yeah,
but I'm talking about the original light bulb. They say some black man had something to do with that.
Pablo Picasso. All right. No matter how they try to control you or any MF next to you tries to peer pressure you, you can do what you so-and-so want. I am Picasso. This is from a concert in Paris in February of 2013. This is the rantings of a madman, son. Look at this. I am the lineage of Gil Scott-Heron, great activist type artist, but I'm also the lineage of Miles Davis. You know that like nice things also. I don't know. Some of the stuff sounds like so choppy when you read it. But that was from a New York Times interview back in 2013. So he compared himself to the lineage of Gil Scott-Heron and Miles Davis.
To be perfectly honest with you, I don't care if he compares himself to artists. I don't care about that. I don't think he's that, but if he compares himself to artists, he's a big artist. I will say that. You know what I mean? But again, when you start comparing yourself, like you said before, Gandhi, Jesus, sad to say, he's not even Hitler.
So yeah, this is some of the stuff here. He even compared himself to Dave Chappelle. He said, I'm the rap version of Dave Chappelle. I'm not saying I'm nearly as talented as Chappelle when it comes to political and social commentary, but I'm like him. I'm laughing to keep from crying. This is in a Rolling Stone interview in 2014. You know what? I say all that to say this. You're comparing yourself to a lot of people. What happened with just being yourself?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're doing a lot of comparing, but just not being yourself. And I guess when you have all these different voices in your head that you're trying to compare yourself to, things kind of get mixed up in the message. You know what I mean?
I wonder what he has to say in order for people to say this is enough.
I thought he might have said it already, but apparently
here's the man that said, slavery is a choice. He's a fan of Hitler. You know what I mean? He compares himself to Jesus Christ.
He threw on a MAGA hat. Monkeyed around in the doggone White House in front of Donald Trump.
Talked to Trump when Trump was walking around referring to black people as the blacks. Went to see Trump, have a conversation with him. I mean, what else do you have to do? I don't even, like, I think we talked about this before. I don't even know what a sellout is anymore, man.
Yeah.
I don't know what you got to do to be considered a Sambo. You know what I mean? A Chicken George, Coon. I don't know what you got to be considered to be. And you know what's funny? People will listen to this conversation and they'll say, we're the sellouts. Because we should be behind this nut.
Call me what you want, but you know I'm right.
I can't be behind.
Right. So,
He's
crazy.
I can't be behind somebody that's not even articulate enough to even get his point across to people, man.
Nah, not
He's
at
an
all.
idiot, man.
Not at
He's
all.
a dumb idiot, man. And it's sad that, you know, our people are still following this dude, man. If a bum on the street, you know, your local corner came out and talked like this, you'd think he was crazy.
You know he was crazy. You know he was drunk or something like that. Let me dip back. Let me dip back into this for a quick second. Go back into this rant, okay? So here's Kanye once again.
To say, y'all don't tell me about your political opinion. I made more money to show you that money ain't nothing. It's our money. It's our country. It's I stolen it. It's pyramids in St. Louis and again Missouri. They stole it. America just the bitch that been ran through so many times. The Greeks hit her. Mansa Musa hit her. We had her. The Indians. The mother pilgrims. It's the Jewish. They dress the same. It's the same. That's the story. They put us in the school. The Rothschilds. I know Jay-Z back here like, oh, this nigga down now. I've been here for a year, my nigga. They can't touch me. Why? Because God covered me. He covered me. And guess what, Trump? We ain't giving you your support unless you get Larry out. Unless you get Jeff out. You understand what I'm saying? Because y'all politicians think y'all gonna just get for free. All of a sudden, got a mugshot. You with us now? No, nigga. No, what you gonna do for us?
I'm just disturbed at the fact that he dropped them N-bombs so much in front of all these white folks, and they like, yeah. Ain't nobody saying.
Red pill, blue pill.
Like, yo, man, ain't nobody checking this dude. Like, all these white folks is like, yeah. He's like,
remind me, oh God, please forgive me. I use the N-word. He remind me of that fool of Living Color, man. It's like it's a conspiracy, man. Just running about a whole bunch of red and stupid garbage, man. He's an idiot, man. It's a person that didn't he say he don't read books or something crazy?
Yeah,
like
he don't read books. He's too busy making history or something like that. Like he don't read it. He don't.
Yeah, he got a disrespectful books. Yeah. You can tell that's probably the only truth that he told, man. He got a whole disrespect for education, man. You know what I mean? He's listening to people and he's trying to give out information that he's hearing from people. You know what I mean?
Now, if you peep game in that whole little rant that he just said there, he was like, I guess Jay was going to probably say, yo, they're going to kill you.
Jay-Z from Brooklyn.
Well, you know what? I'm not giving him no pass either because I don't like that doggone movie that he backed. You know what I mean?
We don't like none. I don't like a lot of stuff he do.
I
don't like a lot of stuff he do. And again, you know, anytime you say what I'm about to say, we say you're going to end up getting killed playing around with these people. But people will look at you and say, oh, well, he's a revolutionary. And you shouldn't talk like that. And this. Listen, man, he ain't got no army. And he's talking crazy. You know what I mean? Like I could see if he was, you know, like a legitimate revolutionary and he's talking about things that pertaining to African American people that are real and you know people can follow or whatever the case may be. That's not him. He's out here on the wing by himself and they're gonna kill him, man. And I don't, like we talked before, I don't even think I think it's too good for them to kill him because they don't want to make him a martyr.
Yeah,
I think he's gonna end up probably
insane asylum somewhere or whatever.
They're gonna do him dirty, man.
Yeah, they're gonna probably say lost his mind or something like that.
Lost his mind, or he'll end up killing himself or something like that.
Well, once they start stripping that money away, you'll see who's who and what's what. You know what I mean? Whether you sink or swim on that one when they start taking away that money.
Yeah, well, those are nuts, man.
Money and kids, but like I kind of peep game on that. Like, yeah, Jay probably gonna say they're gonna kill you. Jay might have some inside baseball. You shut your doggone mouth.
Hey, so we can't get next to him. You can see if you can get next to him.
Yeah. Jay might be trying to send you a subtle warning, but again, I don't give that dude no pass either because I don't like what he doing either, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he's doing a lot of crazy stuff.
A lot of blasphemous, crazy stuff too.
This guy right here, man. The people in that doggone room, man.
It disturbs me, man, because I don't like the fact that in mixed company, you know, you dropping these M-bombs and they applauding it.
You know, if you ever heard J. Cole's song, man, like I said, you know, I don't really listen to hip hop no more, but there's a verse. It's called False Prophet, man. He's speaking on Kanye. And he wrote this song a long time ago. And let me tell you something. If anybody ever, you know, just listen, you know, read the words of that song,
break code.
It's the perfect explanation of Kanye West. It's the perfect explanation of what's going on here right now. People won't tell him what's telling me wrong. You know what I mean? He's surrounded by a whole bunch of people that don't look like him. You know what I mean? And he's making money. So anytime, you know, you tell somebody something stupid, you know, they'll go along with it because
he's a genius.
He's a genius. He can tell you, you know, eat rats for a living. You know what I mean? Or, you know, rats will give you another 10 years on your life or something like that. And everybody start eating it.
Everybody up there catching rats in the dumpster somewhere. Yeah,
he's a nut. You know, you just believe in it because, you know, he got so much money where you say, well, let's give it a shot.
Listen, I'm not gonna play the full 10 minutes, but I just want to get a few more just for some context in here.
We have to because you just got to show how crazy it is. Only reason we're playing this and the curses is disgusting and all the other stuff like that.
That'll be gone. But go ahead.
It's just to show you how disgusting, you know, this rant is, man. That's what it is.
All right, check this out.
What they gonna do for voted Democrat? All these these niggas showing up at the LV show. This is colonized. The French own 80% of the banks in Africa, nigga. That's why I just met with MBS, nigga, the Saudi. We don't have to bow to this. Okay, it's 60 million of us in America, 60 million Jews in the world. 50% of our deaths is abortion. 25% of us go to prison. Raise one hand if you don't know in prison. One nigga double nigga poor. Raise your hand if you don't know about abortion. Now I tell you, if it was in a Jewish mother on Friday, everybody raised their hands. So wait a second. But wait a second. Who make the hospitals though? Who got the hospitals? These are Zionists. This is what I'm trying to tell you. Jesus Christ, Hitler, yay. Third party, sponsor that.
That's a Negro that's out of his mind.
Yep.
That's it.
That's it.
If this don't take people off, man. If this don't say, if this for black people, because black people is the last people supporting this now, and there's a few of these white crazy liberals just dumb enough to even get behind them. But if black people, man, I mean, it's a disrespect of Jesus, man. We're talking about Jesus, man. Put Jesus and Hitler in the same.
And I want everybody that listens to this thing to listen to the way that he's dropping this stuff. You know what I mean? They own hospitals.
Yeah.
They're Zionists. They're colonizers. You know what I mean? Look, man, it's no different than the neo-Nazi that's sitting there talking to the kid that don't know no better. This is the reason why we don't have anything, because they do this and they commit
That's
the crimes.
exactly what they did. This was Hitler did.
This was Hitler did it. They commit the crimes. They come in through the windows. They're raping our women. You know what I mean? Next thing you know, this kid is shaving his head and curb stomping some black kid. You know what I mean?
You know, the sad part about this is that, and don't get me wrong, the Jewish community is very strong throughout the world. But the sad part about this is that a large portion of this world don't know the Jewish community. I mean, they know them through the fact of the money and all the other stuff like that, and the certain things they control through media and through the newspapers and stuff like that. But I mean, like when you go to like the certain parts of the Midwest, certain parts of California, whatever like that, they never met a Hasidic. They never had met these Jews. You know what I mean? They just know of it. The power, they know of the power, man. So I mean, and again, I always say this too, man. I think black people always give Jews and white folk too much power. You know, and when I say Jew, I'm talking about the people who they consider to be the Hasidic Jews and, you know, the people that so-called run this country or whatever like that. But we know spiritually, you know, if you serve God, you're a Jew. You know what I mean? And, you know, you got the Holy Spirit and everything like that. But it's just like they give white people too much power. The way black people talk about white people, like they superheroes or something. You know what I mean? It's like we don't have any power within yourself or anything like that. You know what I mean? It's disturbing to me when they talk about Jews and white folk like this. Like it's crazy. I don't know how to explain it.
But before we get ready to wrap up, it's like just again, I look at him in this little room and I look at these people applauding him, I'm looking at the things that he's saying, and this is dangerous. It's dangerous
for so many people.
For so many people, because like I said, these are people that probably he's sitting around and got money. You know what I mean? And I don't know whether they believe what he's saying or they're just clapping out of just pure, like, this is entertainment for them or whatever. But it's a dangerous move, because again, this is no different than any extremist, cult leader has ever started off with. It was just a few people in a room that just believed what they were saying. You know what I mean? And then things just get out of control. I also wanted to end and just say, like, what do you think the end game of this would be? Just, if you could predict it, to say, like, how would it be handled? You know what I mean? If I can use that term, like, how would it be handled in regards to this guy? Like, do you think he can continue like this, or is somebody going to shut him down?
They got to really put the foot on him right now, man. I mean, like, I think in some instances they're like, well, he's so silly, let's just let him, relax and fall off or whatever the case may be. But he's pushing the line.
Yeah. And I even condescended to stress out to our people, man. Like, y'all should have shut this down when he said slavery was a choice. This should have been so many things. So many things. I mean, from that, the whole religious aspect of it, you should have shut this man down. Even amongst, like, when we often talk about policing ourselves, this should have been shut down a long time ago.
He's comparing himself to a prophet, man.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? He's saying, he's a vessel of God, man, and he's cursing in the same sense. And then he does this stupid garbage. And then there's churches that allow him to go to their church event and do, orchestrate their choirs and all kind of.
Well, what's even more dangerous is that he has his own thing that he's doing. You know what I mean? Them Sunday services, I don't know if he's still doing them.
Sad.
But, you ever see the droves of people that go out to them Sunday services with this dude?
Sad, man.
Now, what if he got up on that stage and started spitting the same stuff he's spitting right now?
Sad, man. It's a walking contradiction, man.
Yeah, it's very sad. All right, man, we're going to get ready to sign off, though. But I just wanted to, we could tap in on this because it just had to be said that you got to watch this, man. We're going to keep an eye on this particular situation.
I'm sorry, go
ahead.
I was saying I was just so surprised that he get away with what he get away with, man. That's it.
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, but again, it's up to the people. You got to shut this stuff down. All right, the Only One Mic podcast is available on all platforms you stream your podcasts on. Also, check out our Only One Mic podcast YouTube channel to catch up on past and current episodes. And please don't forget to rate the show and subscribe. Also, check us out on Instagram and Twitter at The Only One Mic P1, Facebook and LinkedIn at The Only One Mic Podcast. And you can always contact us at The Only One Mic 00 at gmail.com. That's by email. And also, you can call us on our call-in line at 302-367-7219 to have your comments and questions played on the show. We thank you once again for your time, folks, for giving us an ear. And continue to smash up the likes, subscribe, and all. And we encourage you to please speak the truth quietly and clearly and listen to others, even the dull and the ignorant, because they too have their story to tell. So until next time, please keep in mind that we never had to run from the... You know what? I'm going to stop that again. This applies to that. The world won't get no better if we just let it be.
Yeah, just let it be.
If you just let it be, y'all. Speak out against this wrong stuff that's going on out here, y'all. Peace.
Peace.